What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to another gun guide. This is the series where I go into great detail with all of the important stats as well as some amazing attachment combinations for every gun in Call of Duty Vanguard. And in today's second episode, we're going to be getting into the laser accurate high fire rate assault rifle, which is the Automaton. And starting it off as always with this series, let's have a look at our damage profile as well as our multipliers. Which, as you can see here, we do deal a little bit of extra damage to the torso, but it's kind of irrelevant because no matter where you shoot them in the body, it's going to be a 5-shot kill at any range. Whereas our headshot damage is 3328, and what this means is in our maximum damage range, all we need is one single headshot mixed in with body shots to now get a 4-shot kill. At long ranges though, it will require 3 headshots mixed in, and therefore headshots aren't really practical at super long ranges. As for our rate of fire, it's quite fast at 833 rounds per minute, and what this means is even though it's going to take us 5 shots to kill, which is a lot for an assault rifle in this game, our time to kill potential is still pretty respectable at 288 milliseconds. Now this is a little bit slower than average for an assault rifle, however, if you mix that single headshot in with body shots in the maximum damage range, our new time to kill potential is just 216 milliseconds, which is really solid and competitive, so it's definitely in your best interest with this gun to be landing that one single headshot. Now, as for our bullet velocity, this is completely standard for assault rifles at 885 meters per second. Then let's get into our ranges, which, as you can see here, our standard range is 65 meters, which is very impressive for an assault rifle, and the vast majority of gunfights that you'll run into in this game are going to be well within 65 meters. Which is good news, but like I said, if we're shooting body shots, it doesn't really matter because it's going to be a 5-shot kill anywhere in the body, no matter what the range is. As for hardcore, this gun unfortunately can't even get a 1-shot kill to the body at point blank range. You have to hit a head or a neck shot to get a 1-shot kill, and this will only apply in the maximum damage range, which again is still going to be the vast majority of your gunfights, but beyond 65 meters, it's going to be a 2-shot kill anywhere, even to the head. But moving on to our hipfire, the Automaton has a great hipfire spread. It's actually tied with the Volk as being the best hip-firing assault rifle in the game. Then having a look at our idle sway and our iron sight, I did change things up here based on feedback so you can see a much better contrast with the iron sight. You can see there's very little idle sway here. And now let's have a look at our recoil, which for an assault rifle with this high of a fire rate, this is very little recoil. There's not much recoil at all with this gun, and that's really where a lot of the power of this gun comes in. It's also worth noting, it appears we have basically 0 aim down sight spread with the Automaton. This is by far the best in class when it comes to our aim down sight spread. And what this means is when you pull the trigger while aiming down sight, the bullet is actually going to go where you're aiming. And with that, let's move on to our handling stats. For our aim down sight time, this is actually just a little bit slower than average at 265 milliseconds. And we see a similar story with our sprint to fire time. It is once again just slightly below average for assault rifles at 250 milliseconds for our standard sprint out time and 384 milliseconds for our tactical sprint out time. As for our reload add time, which is our reload time without any unnecessary animations, this is 1.52 seconds, which is noticeably faster than average. And for our base stats, this just leaves us with our movement speeds, which are all pretty much average for an assault rifle. There's nothing at all here that stands out as being different or unique. So that's the base version of the Automaton with no attachments equipped. Now let's start having a look at the most important attachments, which are the barrels as well as our magazines. And we'll start it off with our barrels, and first let's have a look at our recoil comparison, because as you can see here, most of the barrels don't really change your recoil a whole lot. Aside from the Zach FA short, which does noticeably increase your recoil, especially for the first few shots fired. And then also you can see with the burst barrel, this turns it into a 5-round burst. That makes this gun practically pinpoint accurate because it has time to reset after each burst. As for all the other ones, it seems like they cut down on your horizontal recoil a bit, but it's a really unnecessary change since the base gun is so accurate as is. As for the ranges with these barrels, as you can see, the first 3 barrels have the exact same damage range, so it doesn't change at all. But you can see with the FA short barrel, we do get a better time to kill, which we'll look at in a little bit because we get boosted damage, and it's actually a 4-shot kill rather than a 5-shot kill. And then you can see with the final 2 barrels, these do boost our ranges to the point where they're off the charts. The Empress barrel will boost it up to 84 meters, and then the Anastasia Sniper is 104 meters, which is absolutely insane. I can't think of a single practical line of sight in the game that's beyond 104 meters. But diving into these a little deeper, I want to have a much deeper look at the barrels that impact our time to kill potential. And the first one that does this is the FA short barrel, the second barrel attachment you unlock. And with this one, it boosts our damage profile, so in the maximum damage range, you're guaranteed a 4-shot kill anywhere in the body. Whereas at longer ranges, you do have to hit every shot to the torso if you want a 4-shot kill still. But one of the downsides and trade-offs for this boosted damage is the fact that our head and neck damage are useless. It's still going to be a 4-shot kill. Even if every bullet hits the head, it's still just going to be a 4-shot kill. And of course, just as a quick recap, you can see that this does pretty noticeably increase your recoil, and it becomes quite a bit more difficult to control, especially at longer ranges. So overall, this barrel is not a bad choice, but you really have to keep that recoil in mind. As for the next one, this is the burst barrel. So this is the one that actually converts the gun into a 5-round burst. And within the burst, we get a rate of fire of around 900 rounds per minute with a roughly 175 millisecond burst delay. And what this means is we are capable of getting a 1-burst kill if every single bullet hits. And this will give us only a very slightly faster time to kill potential than the base Automaton at 267 milliseconds. And in my opinion, this very slight change to our time to kill potential definitely isn't worth the fact that this becomes extremely unforgiving if you don't get a 1-burst kill. The moment you have to take that second burst to kill, your time to kill potential is going to be way slower than the base version of this gun. And as a result, I just wouldn't recommend using the burst version of the Automaton. But finally, for our barrels that actually change our time to kill, let's have a look at the 4th barrel, which is the Empress. And with this, it reduces our damages to the point where it's going to take 5 to 6 shots to kill. However, in order to get that 5-shot kill, every single bullet has to hit the upper torso. If just one of those bullets hits a limb, now it's going to be a 6-shot kill, which increases our time to kill potential up to 360 milliseconds. And even though this makes the gun a little bit more accurate, and even though this also boosts our headshot damage, it's just straight up not worth the risk of potentially having to take 6 shots to kill against our enemies. So in my opinion, you should just stay away from this. Although if you are dead set on using this barrel, make sure you combine it with the hollow point ammo type, because then you'll at least get that consistent 5-shot kill at closer ranges. So those are the unique barrel attachments I wanted to have a look at. Now let's move on to the magazine attachments. And we'll once again start it off with our recoil comparison here for any of the magazines that will adjust our recoil. And as you can see here, the 5.6mm rounds will be slightly more accurate than our base. Then the 8mm rounds will be increasing our recoil a little bit. I also noticed that it seems to decrease our accuracy, so there's a little bit of aim down sight spread when using this particular ammo type. And then finally, I also wanted to show you guys the tight grip proficiency and how that would impact your recoil, just as a bonus here, because it is quite effective. And if you are going to be putting on attachments that are harming your recoil, the tight grip proficiency is great to counteract that. But now let's have a look at our ranges with these different ammo types. And as you can see here, the 6.5mm Secura rounds, they don't change our range at all. The 5.6mm rounds will reduce our range down to just over 50 meters. And then also you can see that it will drop off to a 6-shot kill at longer ranges. And then finally, the 8mm rounds will increase our range off the chart at 77.7 meters. And diving a little deeper into the magazines that change our time to kill, with the 5.6mm rounds, it's now going to be a 5 to 6 shot kill. And just like with that barrel we looked at earlier, every single shot needs to hit the torso up close if you want to maintain that 5-shot kill potential. It can drop off to a 6-shot kill at close range as well, which is unfortunate. However, this does slightly boost our rate of fire, and therefore, if we are maintaining that 5-shot kill, we have a very slightly faster time to kill potential at 280 milliseconds. This is only an 8 millisecond difference though, which is negligible. And as a result, at least on its own, I definitely wouldn't recommend using this magazine attachment. Again, if you do insist on using this, definitely combine it with the hollow point ammo type. As for the only other magazine attachment that changes our time to kill, these are the 8mm Klauser rounds. And with this, now it's going to be a 4-shot kill at all ranges since it boosts our damage profile. However, at longer ranges, you do have to hit 4 shots to the torso to get a 4-shot kill. If you land a limb shot, it will drop off, but it's highly unlikely you'll be within those ranges anyway. With this one, it also does reduce our rate of fire quite noticeably down to about 760 rounds per minute. And what this means for our time to kill potential, with 4 shots to kill, it's going to be 237 milliseconds, which is noticeably faster than the base time to kill potential of this gun. And therefore, this can be a great choice to use on the Automaton, especially with a certain combination that we're going to look at when we have a look at our example class setups, which let's just dive right into that one and start it off with my high damage Automaton build. And with this one, the primary feature is the fact that you're combining that short barrel, which boosts our damage, with the 8mm rounds, which also boost our damage, and with the way they stack, we can get a consistent 3-shot kill within our maximum damage range anywhere in the body, even if we're hitting limb shots. And that is pretty crazy because this gives us a time to kill potential of 158 milliseconds. This is one of the fastest killing guns in the entire game, especially once they fix the Vital and 30 Russian short bug that's currently going on with the STG and Type 100. This may end up being one of the fastest killing guns in the entire game when you set it up like this. And to top that off, you have an amazing range potential at about 78 meters, high velocity, controllable enough recoil, although that is one of the downsides with setting it up this way. You are going to have noticeably more recoil than you'd have with the base version of the gun, but it's worth it for that ridiculous time to kill potential. You just have to keep that in mind while playing. You're not going to be able to challenge people as effectively really far away, but up close and personal, you'll be dominating pretty much everything here. So that's the first class setup to share with you guys. This one unfortunately requires you to basically max out the gun to unlock all these attachments, but once you do, it's definitely worth it. Now let's move on to the second one, which is designed primarily for accuracy. This is the type of gun where you can pick somebody off of a head glitch super effectively, even at like 60 or 70 meters, no problem. This one is using the Anastasia sniper barrel as well as the 45 round magazine, which doesn't actually change our time to kill at all from our base gun. So what this means is we're going to have a consistent 5-shot kill or 4-shot kill if we just land one bullet to the head, which is super easy to do with how ridiculously accurate this setup is. Now with this, like I said, our time to kill potential doesn't change. This is basically the base gun, so it's a 288 millisecond time to kill or 216 milliseconds with one headshot. But this also has a great stray speed, primarily due to the stock that I have on this, and a ridiculous range potential at 97 meters. And so with this particular gun, this isn't the type of gun where you're going to dominate everything out there in the playing field in a face-to-face gunfight. This is more so designed to be that really specialty type of gun to pick people off of head glitches and just be laser accurate, so you're not going to be missing any shots with this. Even though this time to kill potential isn't quite as amazing as the previous build, I still really enjoy using the gun set up like this just because it is so accurate and so consistent. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for today's gun guide on the Automaton Assault Rifle in Vanguard. As for my thoughts on this gun, I just love using it. I think it's so consistent, so accurate, really great at picking people off, and if you get that high damage build setup, you're going to be practically unstoppable with the gun. I actually think this is one of the most underrated guns in the game as of right now. Now, of course, these are just my opinions. I'd like to know in the comment section below, what do you guys think of the Automaton in Vanguard? And second, if you guys missed the first episode, just keep in mind, I have covered the STG so far, and I will be starting to bring these out in a higher frequency from here on out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.